We call him the Dean of Valuation. It's great to have you here. Welcome.
I'm glad to be on.
What do you think when you look at, I'll call it FANG, you know what I mean, mega cap tech? Are they a buy here?
I think that a year ago, if you looked at them, they were priced so richly, you're saying, well, something's got to happen here. But I think at this point, when you look at the pricing you can get them at, I'd feel pretty comfortable holding them. In fact, I hold 5 of the 6 FANG stocks other than Netflix, because I think at the prices they're trading at now, they're much better bargains than they were a year ago. A year ago, I thought they were pushing for the skies.
Just as a side note, not a side note for those who are bullish on Netflix, why isn't that in your portfolio?
I think that the entertainment business is in for a complete shakeup. It's not just Netflix. You see it with Netflix, you see it with Disney, you see it with Warner. The business is broken and needs to be fixed. And I'm not sure where the fix is going to come from. So until I get a better sense of how that business is going to play out, I think Netflix is off my list.
Wow. Well, let's, like I say, putting all that aside and moving on to what else might be going on in the market, Aswath. So if mega cap tech looks more reasonable to you, are there areas that don't? You know, we talked yesterday about the staples and some of the valuations that we're seeing there. And what about the market as a whole?
I think the market's in a holding pattern right now. Last year, inflation was the big story. It dominated everything. This year, the economy is going to come into play as the other big player. I mean, I think we're all waiting for a recession, but none of the numbers seem to back it up. So I think at this point, the question is, will there be a recession? If there's a recession, how bad will it be? So I have a feeling that this year, the conversation is going to shift, at least partially from inflation. Inflation is going to continue to be on the table, but the economy is going to become a much bigger part of the discussion and how the market's going to behave for the rest of the year.
Right. So in other words, it's hard to even say whether the market's cheap or expensive because the major question out there is if we're heading into recession, how bad will it be?
I mean, market timing is always a dicey game, and it's more dicey than ever before. So if anybody claims to tell you which direction the market's going to go this year, they're lying, because I think that you look at the indicators, they're at cross purposes with each other. So at this point, I think the best you can do is buy companies that you believe are good companies and then hold on for dear life, because it's going to be quite a ride this year.
Let me ask you about Tesla. Speaking of holding on for dear life, it's a little bit different animal than the rest of mega cap tech, but it's still trading around 20 times. What do you do with it here?
It's the danger of buying a company that's so closely tied to a personality that you're no longer buying a company, you're buying a human being. So in a sense, what you're getting here is a bet for or against Elon Musk. And I think that Tesla, needs to find a way to disconnect itself from personality. And that's going to be tough to do, because it is a company built in Elon Musk's image. And I think that once a company becomes equated with a person, you run all kinds of risks. And Tesla's investors are facing those risks.
Yeah, absolutely.